Wow, guys, massive update in the weekly update. Huge weapon changes are coming in the December update, as well as new exotics. It looks like we'll be getting the new Hunter and Titan chess pieces, as well as a few Year 1 exotics. There's also a lot of meaty info here regarding weapons. So to help with that, I brought along a friend. Hello, Briar.
Hello.
So, going down the list here, you guys should definitely just go ahead and go to the site and read along with this. We're just going to be going over the actual changes. John Wisniewski had a lot of really good stuff to say about why they're changing these weapons. So I highly suggest you guys go read that. So first off, auto rifles. They are getting small increases to base damage. Low rate of fire auto rifles like Suros Regime are getting a 3% base damage increase. Medium rate of fire ones like Zalo and Monte Carlo are getting a 7% base damage increase, and the higher rate of fire ones are getting a 4% base damage increase. What do you think about this one, Briar?
I like this. I like using auto rifles. They've been kind of missing from the Crucible, but they got a little bit of a buff for Update 2.0 and the Taken King, but they're still not super competitive. I think that some of the high rate of fire ones are already pretty good, but this will definitely, I think, bring them up to kind of the level they need to be competitive.
I'm going to agree with you there. It's also going to be a really nice thing to have in PvE as well. Damage increases in PvE are always very, very welcome.
Yeah.
Moving on to pulse rifles, I don't know if you noticed, Briar, but the PvP playing field seems to be entirely dominated by pulse rifles, so that's why we're seeing some nerfs to them. So first off, they're reducing the base damage across all pulse rifles. Also, they're reducing the damage fall off to start between auto rifle and hand cannon ranges. So like a low range pulse rifle will have shorter damage fall off than an average hand cannon, and a high range pulse rifle will have farther damage fall off than an average hand cannon. And then since this is, I really think this is the key thing to take away here, is they recognize that this is a nerf to pulse rifles caused by PvP. So they are getting the AI combatants are going to be taking 1.3 times damage, whereas it was 1.25.
Again, I think this is good. Pulse rifles have really kind of ebbed and flowed throughout Destiny. At the beginning, they were basically useless. Now they're really high on the meta for PvE and PvP, to the point where in PvP, there's basically no reason to use anything else. So it'll be nice that these are getting nerfed just a little bit in PvP, but in PvE, they should stay about where they are.
Yeah, I definitely, in being completely honest, I don't really use pulse rifles in PvE because it feels like they have less shots in the magazine due to burst firing. It's very easy to hit precision shots in PvE, so like a scout rifle is really easy just to two-tap most mobs in the head anyway. Pulse rifles, you just use a little bit too much ammo in my opinion, so they've never been my thing for PvE, but I'm definitely excited to see the meta for PvP, because right now it's just pulse rifles are your primary.
Yeah, Hawksaw, your favorite, the Ludmilla, these things are just absolutely deadly in PvP right now. And to be honest with you, the time to kill is a little bit fast in my opinion.
Moving on to hand cannons, my favorite weapon class, they're getting an increase in aim down sight accuracy for more reliable shooting at close to medium range. I, for one, am very excited about this because their accuracy it was nerfed too much in that 2.0 patch, and it made them completely unusable in PvP, and then just way too difficult to use in PvE as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should be usable at close range where they're supposed to be very good, but right now, it's very hard to be accurate with them consistently, so this should help with that, but still not make them the scout rifles, the best scout rifles in the game were hand cannons before. So it should still be that they're good at close range, but now they're just a little bit easier to use at close range.
I'm really hoping that it just makes them more consistent to use, because I have used hand cannons in the current meta, and it's annoying because your first shot like guarantees to land. It just has really good, aim assistance. But after that follow-up shot it's a crapshoot. It's maybe 50% of the time it lands, even though you're directly on your target's chest or something like that. It's frustrating. So moving on, this is too brutal of a nerf even by my standards. Shotguns. Reduce starting damage fall off to match melee lunge ranges. So low range stat fall off starts at standard melee lunge, and high range stat fall off starts at blink strike lunge. So those are pretty small ranges right there, truthfully. They're also slowing down the ready and stow times for all shotguns. Additional recoil across the entire stability stat range. Slower reload speed across the entire reload stat range. Slower time to aim down sights for all shotguns. Slower base movement speed when shotguns are the active weapon. There is a little bit of icing on this, shit Sunday, that increased base damage against AI combatants to 1.6 times, where it was 1.5.
So this is a rough nerf, man. Like, every aspect of using a shotgun is going to be just a little bit slower. And I don't know if we really need it. I think we're both in agreement that it's just the long-range shotguns, those really high-impact Fellwinter's type shotguns that needed to be adjusted. This is every shotgun, and it's going to really affect them.
This is every shotgun. Like, being completely honest, this still makes those high-impact shotguns the most valuable ones to have, because now, with the range changes, the high-impact ones are going to be doing the most damage at that max range, as they always have been. I feel like this was overkill.
It feels heavy. It almost feels a little bit like the hand cannon nerf from 2.0, where we had a couple outliers that were too powerful, so they nerfed everything into oblivion. This kind of feels like what's going to happen with shotguns now, because we have a few outliers that are really, really strong. Everything gets beat up.
Not to get too off topic, because we covered this in the podcast this week, but it's like, if that one archetype was the problem, you need to get rid of that archetype. That's my opinion on it. Shotgun users, I'm sorry. This is, I know I dog on you guys a lot, but this is too much. This is unwarranted in my opinion. Moving on to fusion rifles, the changes are increased charge speed on fast charging fusion rifles, but reduced burst damage to compensate. Fusion rifles behave more predictably based on player state. They're also giving a reduction in carried ammo inventory for all fusion rifles, but increasing the base damage against AI combatants to 1.25, where it was 1.15.
This is perfect to me. Fusion rifles, I've talked about it before. They're one of my favorite types of weapons in Destiny because they're so unique to Destiny. But they've really been pretty crappy in the meta, for a long time. In vanilla, they were pretty strong, and they got nerfed, and now they've been bad for a long time. So I'm hoping that they'll now be usable.
It's not necessarily that they're bad. There's just no reason.
But
to
now
use
with the real nerfs to shotguns, it may be that we actually have a use for fusion rifles, and these changes to fusion rifles sound pretty good to me.
I'm definitely excited to see them. Fusion rifles were that thing that I really enjoyed using before I got good at sniping. For sniper rifles, very small changes here. They are extending the sniper rifle damage fall off, so damage only reduces for very long range shots. And then luck in the chamber on sniper rifles now only buffs precision damage.
This is a perfect change. That Arene that everybody's been talking about, that came out last week from the gunsmith that had the hollow scope and luck in the chamber, it became quickly one of my favorite sniper rifles, but I always felt bad using it in the Crucible. Now I don't have to feel bad using it in the Crucible. It can just be my straight up favorite sniper rifle. I'm happy about this.
Good. I mean, I have my 1,000-yard stare, but if I ever want another one now, I have a luck in the chamber one that I kept because it's a very good rifle for PvE, so I can not feel guilty using it in PvP now.
Yeah, and that hollow scope is just a pleasure to use. It's such an open sight picture on it.
Really cool scope on it. So, and also the damage fall off is mainly to actually help out the lower impact snipers, because if you were getting off, a normal sniper rifle headshot from long range, those lower impact snipers wouldn't kill with a headshot, which was very, very frustrating.
I do wonder in the overall meta now if sniper rifles, because they're untouched compared to shotguns, which are getting a severe nerf, I wonder if they're now going to be so powerful in the meta that just everybody's going to be using them.
No, I don't think so. I think we might see more of a shift towards fusion rifles or sidearms. As the closer range weapons. Snipers have always kind of attracted, a particular type of player, and that I think we covered this in the podcast though, so we should probably just move on. For sidearms, increase the ready and stow speed for all sidearms. Does that mean they're making it slower, or does that mean they're making it faster?
It reads to me that they're increasing the speed so that readying and stowing sidearms will happen faster.
Sidearms, much snappier now. That's going to be very interesting because they're already pretty snappy in terms of ready and stow speeds. Moving on, exotic weapon tuning. I'm kind of sad about this one, but I'm also very happy about it. I just finished the review on it, which means I'm going to have to do a re-review on it. I'm happy because the first curse perk will now refill the magazine when activated, and it provides better stability, better target acquisition, and damage fall-off starts further out while the perk remains active. That's just the first bullet point.
Yeah, they're fast. They have decent range if you have a good roll on them. They can do a lot of damage if you got a good roll on them. These things might be, much more useful.
I'm excited for this because
Yeah.
for PvP related reasons, I liked what the gun could be, but it just wasn't there yet in terms of hand cannons. Hand cannons are getting buffed, plus the changes that are coming to this. This might be my new Hawkmoon. I'm hoping it is.
Hopefully this makes this thing worth getting. It's going to be easier to get because the imprecation, which is the gun that you use to get the first curse, is going to be a little bit better. But now the first curse sounds like it may actually be worth using.
We'll see what happens. Speaking of Hawkmoon, I'm going to shed a tear here. Reduce base range by 20, and then lucky bullets from both Luck in the Chamber and Holding Aces now deal 1.2 times bonus damage, where it was 1.3.
This is going to be a very close range weapon now.
That range nerf definitely hurts.
They used to be scout rifles, right? They used to have unlimited range. And they're trying to give each weapon type like a very specific place to play and a place where they are most effective. And Hawkmoon had incredible range, and now it's getting pulled back again.
It sucks, but I still understand it. I understand it. It sucks. It sucks. I can say that 1,000 times, but I still understand the change. Chaperone. There's actually a really interesting paragraph here. Apparently, with the shotgun changes that were coming, the Chaperone was just stupid, overpowered, broken in the 2.1 shotgun changes. So that's why it's getting these changes of a reduced base damage, but then precision damage scalar is increased to 1.75 where it was 1.1. So they're really pushing for it to be a, you aim for that precision shot or else it's just not going to be doing too good.
This, I believe, is how the gun should perform, right? Is if you don't hit that precision shot, this gun isn't a performer. Right now, if you use it in the Crucible, it's a 2-shot kill, and those shots come pretty damn quick. So you're not really giving up a whole lot by using it over a regular shotgun, unless you're using one of the Fellwinter's Lie type shotguns that can just kill from ridiculous damage or from ridiculous ranges. So I like this change. I'm looking forward to trying it out.
Definitely. I'll still be sticking with my sniper, but for the Fabian strategy, we actually just put a review out on that, so you should go look at it. Frontline's perk on Fabian strategy no longer buffs rate of fire as a bonus modifier. The Frontlines now increases the base rate of fire stats to the highest speed. So basically, it takes it from the Monte Carlo type archetype and then up to like the highest rate of fire archetype, and then adjusts the damage accordingly when the Frontlines perk is active, which is at a really weird range. They are removing the extended mag perk and replacing it with flared magwell. They're removing small bore and replacing it with rifled barrel because bug reasons, apparently. And then increasing the base reload and stability on the weapon to help offset the removed stat upgrades.
I like every change to this. The current Frontlines perk doesn't really work as I feel like they intended. At least the fire rate change doesn't. To actually test for that fire rate change, you have to slow that down to about a quarter speed in a video editor, and it comes down to frames of differences as far as fire rate goes. I mean, it's really small.
Technically, it does increase the fire rate, but side by side, you literally would not be able to tell the difference between them. It's so minor.
Right. So this will actually be a difference. But the thing is, with the damage per bullet offset, it may not be a beneficial difference.
So I'm definitely glad that they're increasing the reload and stability, the base reload and stability on it, because those are very weak points on the weapon, which made me never use it on my Titan. Sleeper Simulant. Maximum inventory ammo buffed from 7 to 9. Yes. Inventory no longer benefits from fusion rifle ammo perks, but does benefit from heavy ammo armor perks.
This is confusing. So heavy ammo perks don't really exist on year 2 gear.
For all intents and purposes, they don't, aside from one or two pieces that are pretty much exclusive to warlocks.
Right. So we'll see if maybe we get gear in the future that has specific heavy fusion rifle ammo perks. But right now we don't really have that. So we'll see how this actually works out. Maybe the 9 is all you're supposed to get.
I think so. I just hope they bring heavy ammo perks in the future. That'd be a better solution for me. I like that a lot more.
Yeah, I would like that too.
All right, guys. Well, hope you guys found this information helpful. This has been Patrick Casey and Briar Rabbit, your guides to the Destiny universe.